Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm Kiki, and I'm a storyteller. Everyone has a story, and I'm here to listen. This is What It's Like to Be Here.
On today's episode of What It's Like to Be Here, my guest today is an actor, producer, director, creator, innovator, mom, and friend. I met Lori many, many years ago at this point when an assignment brought me her way during my journalism years.
Yes.
And after reading an email that she sent me a few days after the initial meeting, we've been friends ever since. So glad to welcome Lorena Diaz today.
Hey,
Woohoo!
it's us again.
It is. Here we are. Thank you so much for being here and doing this.
I'm so happy to be here.
So I did this with your creative partner and bestie, Wendy.
Oh, yeah? She already did hers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
And so one thing I was like, was my memory of us meeting similar or the same? So I want to hear your version
Oh, no.
of when we met.
Okay. I don't remember things like movies replaying in my head most of the time. I remember, like, the feeling of things.
Okay.
Right? And I remember being like, she's whip smart. She's, as in you, right? And, God, I hope we don't sound like idiots. You know, and you were so fun, and I thought it was going to be a lot shorter than we ended up hanging out. You had like on your second beer, I was like, all right, she's like, this is fun for everyone. Everyone's digging this. And then we got really into it. It's funny how when you look back at your life, like it felt a little like a clash of like a waves crashing against each other. And sometimes you feel that and it's maybe nothing. Maybe it's like an old murmur of a memory at some point or an old life. But definitely we got like on a journey together. And now I'm a fan of you and you're a fan of me. And I think we just became fans of each other, and mutual respect is a good place to start with you. I've learned.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, that's wonderful. I just always remember that night of being like, okay, first of all, what bar am I going to?
Yeah, we were at
It was on Halstead.
on the pub, in that pub.
Yes, I forget the name of it.
God, we were just talking about that with Wendy.
Because that was the place you guys used to go after
We'd
after
go
the
there.
playground.
Yes.
Yeah. And I can't remember
It's gonna
for
come
the
back
life of me.
mid-interview. I'm gonna be like,
You're gonna just scream it out. But it was dark and it was a little dive bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this is kind of my scene because I like dive bars. And let me go in and just get to know people. That's how I always approached my interviews, was like, you're going to teach me about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, let me get to know you.
Yes.
And so, and I would sit down with folks like yourselves, usually in if it was like a group, like duos. Oh, man, I would talk for like hours. We would talk, and just get into, getting to know each other. And so, yeah, I just remember it feeling fun and being like, okay, this is going to be something fun to write. Because
Yes. And then we read it and we sounded like wives. Wendy and I sounded like lovers in your article.
So funny.
And I was like, Ave Maria, why am I talking about the panties?
But-
Like, why am I saying things like that? I gotta work on this.
And it was funny because
But it was a great article on us.
Yeah, and it's funny because people will be like, did you really write that? Or why did you choose this? And I was like, yo, it goes through editing. Like, so I could write something and what's published is completely different because editors,
interesting.
they would take, move things around and add.
They pull the quotes.
Yeah, add verbiage.
That's good to know. So that when as you start rising up, you're not just like trying to make nice with all the writers. You're also like, who's the person that's editing the thing? You got to send them empanadas.
Yeah, really.
So they
really
make nice things.
Well, I mean, in this day and age, I don't know who's editing what. So maybe we'll get into that a little bit later.
I'm always looking.
Right? Me too. Me too.
Déjame ver.
So anyway, this is how I always start the podcast, right? How old are you? And,
Oh my God.
I've gotten riddles. I've gotten a blatant no, I'm not answering. I've gotten
I'll tell you my age. I am 44, right? Yes, I'm 44.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you feel?
I feel great. I feel very in my skin. I feel like I understand myself so much better at this point in my life, and I can help myself
Oh yeah, that's
a
great.
lot better than I've ever have.
That's a really great point. Getting to that point where you know how to help yourself.
Yes,
Oh,
it's great. Very
that's
empowering.
wonderful.
You don't always have control. I think I'm learning to let go of that need for control and rather just have a need to know how to regulate myself. Because I can go through things pretty well. But transitions are hard.
Oh yeah. They're never easy. There are people that make it look easy. Or it's either that or they're hiding it.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I don't think transitions ever are something that people want to go through. Change is hard.
Change is hard. Yeah.
And so speaking of, us meeting, right, and going back all that far, we have come through some peaks and valleys together,
Yes.
separately. You've done amazing things. So tell me what it's like to be here as not just Lorena, back then you were just starting, right?
Yeah.
Starting the journey of improv. And I feel like that was a completely different space than where you are now. So what does it feel like to be here comparatively?
I mean, it feels like the same tenacity, right? That pushed me then pushes me now. It's just this kind of like very neurodivergent, matter of fact, like what needs to happen, this and that. Okay. All right, let's go do that. I don't sit around thinking about all the things I can't do. I think about like what I have to do. And if I feel stuck on how to accomplish something, I go learn it. And it might be the hard way, which is slow over time, intentionally, somebody teaching me. But yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And I think I want to get into that because I feel like ever since I've met you, well, first of all, ever since I met you, you've been on like a track to something. I don't know what it was.
No, where am I going?
Right. but
we gotta go. We gotta do things.
Yeah. And because of that, like you've always been innovative. You've always been risky, like taking these risks with your creativity, I feel like. And actually, so what got you started in wanting to be an actor? Or was that your intention?
Oh my God.
Or is it something else that's bigger that's your intention?
This is such a question. I've been noodling on this. Like, why did I do this? I think that, oh gosh, I don't know. Like, I have been really thinking about this, but it takes me to different places, the thought journey. I'm trying to decide which one I want to share with you for the purposes of this conversation. I think that this was the first thing, just in a practical sense, this was the first thing that a lot of people told me I did well.
Okay.
And I don't even know what well meant for them, but I suspect, given my experience now with watching other people, that sometimes you see people that move in performance, whether that's at your church or at the local community, the school play, whatever the thing, they move in performance and you're like, whoa. And it's this presence that some folks carry. And I think I was told by a lot of people like, oh, you're so good, or, oh, that's so, the way you should do that more. And, when you're growing up, anything that someone tells you you're great at, you're going to say, oh, well, okay, I'm going to keep trying to pursue it. So I think I was invited into it practically in that way. Upon examining it more, I think that it allowed me to try things on. And I think now, knowing about my neurodivergence more, I can see where it was like a really safe place to try on social manners, characters, what is considered like a funny character because of how they do or say XYZ thing. And I was able to like examine things really very closely and intimately because that's what you were supposed to do. This was before I knew that I was like, this was before any diagnosis of anything. But I think now looking back, that's probably what I was doing.
I see.
Yeah.
And so like happenstance? Luck? Like, because I feel like what the other thing too is that you learned like the things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I learned about you early on was that there's nothing that you wouldn't teach yourself. If
you and I are this person. This is why we're friends.
Yes.
Because we're like, what is it? Let's go.
Right.
We even had like a very romantic period of our lives where we spent a lot of time kind of in and out of each other's life.
Yes.
We were each other's like outside of our immediate drama life, safe point to talk about that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember both being this way. Like we just wanted to unlock the thing.
Right. Like tell me what it is that I don't know so I can do it. And it was almost like hurdles.
Yeah, I just want to know what it feels like to do the thing I want to do.
Right.
So I'm going to go learn it.
Yeah. And that always like kind of motivated me and inspired me to be like, okay, well, that's true, right? If there's something that you don't know, there's a way that you can learn it so that you can understand why this is so important in whatever journey that I'm on. And so I feel like, but that's like across the board with you, because the other thing that I was thinking about as I was thinking about questions for this interview was you've always understood the power of the platform, I feel like. And because I was thinking about, the times where you and Wendy were just like making videos out of your bedroom, and like green screening it. And there was a certain point where you were even talking about like women's health, right? There was something, I forget what it was exactly. It might have been the Roe versus Wade situation when it first came out, right? Yep. This whole abortion issue.
Oh my God, that was years and years ago.
Yeah, but
it was circling back.
But I felt like
Planned Parenthood.
That's what it was. And I feel like you were teaching yourself about all of that stuff so that you could create something to educate people. Yeah. Now your platform is much bigger. Are you still, and it's different. It's changed. Are you still doing that? Is that still in your head about like educating people on things that they need to know?
Well, I love to learn stuff, so that's just like a part of my personality, I think. And not every stuff, not everything. I don't but the things I like to learn about, I really take a big deep dive.
Are you still trying to educate the masses about something?
I don't think of it like masses. I think of it like service right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Right now I'm like, I made a decision when I put my hat in the ring for this work with Wendy, that I was at a place like in my age of Christ years, like when he was like, I'm going to be the son of God. Not that that's where I'm rolling. I'm just saying that I was like ready to be of service. I was ready to decenter myself and through being of service for others, grow braver for myself. And I think in that way, my need to educate has become more intimate and more people focused. I'm very inspired by the artists around me right now. And I fell into their world of creating and I try to yank them closer to create closer to what I'm doing and what I can invest in through the company or through my own energy or building interest within the company, whatever it is. But that feels like the place where I'm supposed to make that difference right now, so that I can evolve more as a person. It has definitely taught me a practice of things that I'm excited to be building my arsenal around, including the practice of listening and really working on getting my ego out of the way so that I can hear people, because what people say and what they mean is very different sometimes. And there's cues and ways in, but I had work to do on, I wanted to see, I guess, how much work I had to do on managing myself so that I can listen to others. And this job has helped me shut up and listen a lot more when I'm in those types of dynamics of like negotiating or examining with someone else. What, you know, an actor will be like, I want this and I want that and and I'm like, great. Do you have this? Do you have, no. Cool. So actually what's happening is that they're depressed. Actually what's happening is that they're having trouble in their relationship. What's happening is that they're like in the dead of winter, they haven't had vitamin D. They've been in tech rehearsal for 2 weeks and they're barely eating, and they're athletes on stage and they're barely, sometimes there's just like functional things with people that are making them show up to communication in a certain way. So anyway, my whole thing has been redirected into that type of practice right now. I feel like I'm going to be in this lane for the next 5 to 8 years somehow. And then I get this like very inside of my body knowing that whatever is next is going to bring all of this learning and practice together. And I think it's going to be something around carving out a space where we can produce thought-provoking content while making the people in the space feel ownership and joy.
That's great.
Algo así.
And especially right now, right? Given the time period that we're in, the government, like just all the things, right, coming at us right now.
Yeah.
Where do you feel that like theater and art and what you do, where does that stand, and how much weight does that carry right now?
I think it's incredibly important. I think that artists provide an outlet to show how to process. And they embody processing on stage, whether it's, you know, an audience member becoming overwhelmed from listening to people just simply sing because there's just something inside of them that they haven't let out about it, to like real an invitation to critically think from the things that you watch on stage. But it also is 4 walls and a sense of safety inside of the room. It's a privilege that we all have to have an arts and culture around us, a theater that we can go scurry off into and feel safe enough to get lost in the world of whatever that is. And we live at a time where we are fed constant propaganda in either direction. And it is meant to control everyone. And it is meant to keep you sick on your phone and in your fear. And theater invites the joy and the possibility of joy. It gives you tools if things were to become so oppressive. It gives you tools to be free in your mind's eye, and you need it. You need to get away from the constant propaganda. I understand our need to know things so we can control how we are reacting, we think, but really we are just making ourselves sick. What we need to know, we know, and we need to get involved in our politics, in our local government, in our national government. We need to get involved so that we can see the kind of world that we want reflected.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very important that artists are creating right now. We need to bring that pulse, that heartbeat back into, you know, I've been thinking about Wreck-It Ralph.
That's such a great movie.
And the second Wreck-It Ralph, has, spoiler alert, right? I'm going to talk about the end. The second Wreck-It Ralph has his fear algorithm, right? And that
I don't think I've seen the second one, so.
No.
No. Tell me.
Ruining it, baby.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
The fear algorithm sets in because he's afraid he's going to lose his best friend because she's like, this other game is so much cooler. I don't want to go back to this nonsense game. He's like, that's where we hang out, the nonsense game, Anyway, people might disagree with my summary, but that's not the point. The point is that his fear gets infected into the entire internet. And his own fear makes a million little Wreck-It Ralphs that compile into this giant, massive body that is like Godzilla, tearing through everything and just obliterating everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like the algorithm is that. The algorithm is a pulsating fear. And if we think Star Wars style, artists creating is that energetic yin and yang to that fear algorithm that is existing. We have to make things. We have to invite people to look at it, view it. We have to create experiences and events. We have to remind people and bring that pulse back, that heartbeat back of what is good because it comes from us. In order to combat where we're headed for what I think is going to, be a decade's worth of time.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot to think about. But yeah, I feel like creativity, truth-telling, sharing your own truth, right, has a lot of value right now.
Yeah.
More than in other times, yeah.
We need to remind ourselves what it is to be brave because bravery doesn't come in comfort. Bravery comes in discomfort. And we are going to have to choose bravery because to comply always is just going to make it worse.
All right. Well, on that note, let's take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You are not a native Chicagoan.
No.
Would you share a little bit about your pre-Chicago life?
Yeah. Well, I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. And then I was raised in Lima, Peru. Until the age of 3 or 4, where we migrated to the United States. And I was mostly raised in Miami, Miami, Florida. In the Kendall neighborhood, which would be more like in the Kendall neighborhood. No. Oh my God, my Miami accent, I have to find it. Super, it's super great. It's super wonderful. I don't know, whatever. Okay, there it is. But yeah, I was raised in Kendall, and I was there until my early 20s, and then I moved to Chicago from there. But Wendy and I met in Hollywood, Florida. Yeah.
We talked about Florida.
I'm sure y'all did.
It was fun. I was like, do we have to go there with Lori? I'm like, no, we don't.
I just don't. It just feels like a lost gray zone. There were a lot of cool things that happened there that led us on this path that we're on today.
So when did you realize that Chicago was home?
It was one of those internal body things where you just know you have to go to a place. I came here sight unseen. Wendy came, checked it out. She's like, all right, it's good. Let's go. So, but home, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Chicago's such a magical place. I feel like I'm in the space my DNA is supposed to be. So I have felt that from the beginning.
That's nice. When you think about, your time here in Chicago, what was going to keep you here?
I can recognize patterns. And LA, for me, I'm like, y'all are running out of water. So I just couldn't, the survivor inside of my brain, whatever the DNA is that took me from Ancestry.com's, like the top of South America to the bottom of North America and my DNA, whatever that instinct is like, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go to LA. Their water is a problem. And I'm a homebody. So like, if I go to LA and I make a home there, yo no me voy. I'm going to die of thirst because I would rather just be home, you know? So I don't know, like that, and New York is overstimulating. It's too much. New York is too much human being.
Yeah.
It's got the perfect blend, Chicago, of that, and then the industry arrived here. And the industry, like, mic dropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over the last 10 years. I'm so grateful to see it happen here, and now I just want the industry to hire out of here more, and that's it.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess you can, did you think that Chicago was going to have everything you wanted? Like the fact that you're able to do.
I don't even think about life like that, honestly. Christina, I'm going to expose like what a freaking hippie I am right now. I just didn't even, I was like, I'm supposed to go there. I don't know. My body says to there. And then if it's supposed to be something else, then my body will say, by ya vamos, like, to the other place.
Right.
But I didn't get that. Everybody around me was like, you have to go to LA, you have to go to New York, you have to go to, you know, but like, I was like, no, I don't. I don't know. I just don't. And then I didn't. So I'm like, okay, because if the universe wanted me to move, it would give me something crazy. It would be like, you booked a show in LA, it's going to be for 10 years. They signed the contract, you know, like it would make it clear to me. I have such faith in the universe. And like, I move like that with everything. Like clarity is kindness. That's what I tell the universe. I'm like, make it very clear because tú sabes que yo me enredo. Like, and so the universe tells me clearly, you know, sometimes I'll even get messages like, I wanted this thing so bad. There was a show that came to Chicago. I wanted it so bad. Like there were people I grew up watching on TV that were in it that I'm like, oh my God, I would love to be a part of it. And then I learned on the other side that I learned on the other side of it that it was a hot mess set. People were like, not nice, not cool. And I'm like, oh my God, that would have robbed my joy. It would have robbed my gratitude to have been in that space. I'm so glad that didn't happen because there were other storms ahead. And I needed whatever I had to get me through that time. Yeah. You know, so yeah.
It's interesting. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like where have you traversed, I guess, right? These spaces that a lot of times are not either visible or accessible to just everyday people, right? That just like walk in. You've worked to get to these spaces. Yeah. But what have you learned when you get there?
Okay. I've learned that having a settled inner self is important if you want to have footing where you're at. Especially in this business, like in the business of acting and even in the business of like running a 501c3 and you're meeting with foundations and, you know, money people. I think that people have a sense, whether it's through intellect or feeling, of where ego is present. And it's a turnoff. Yeah. Especially with women, especially with neurodivergent women. And so okay, how do I want to? I think that these spaces, there's so much turnover and change that if you can have a quiet confidence about you, that's just like okay with being in the room and not like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to, and am I supposed to, and are these people going to be smarter than me? You know, intelligence was always a place of fear for me, I've learned recently, like to really identify that, like in the strangers Stranger Things kind of way. Like, this is the fear that I have to meet in the cave, you know? And how I was perceived and how my intelligence is perceived is a place of actual fear for me. And now that I've unmasked it, I'm like, oh, God, that's so dumb. But, like, whatever, you know? But anyway, the point is that the turnover is so high in those spaces that people don't know you from Adam. Nobody's going to IMDb and checking people's resume. Well, some people are because it's stupid, but mostly nobody's got the time, especially in these worlds of like Dick Wolf where the procedurals are happening and every 7 days is the turnover of a new episode. If it's not a week where it's a crossover and all the things are happening at the same time, even more God. So. Like, people are moving fast, and if you come into the space with a quiet confidence, with listening, with courtesy, it buys you a lot of credit right away, a lot of status in a space. And I think sometimes people think that, like, their literal credits are what buys them that. But no, it's really just knowing your stuff, being prepared, and then, like, not looking like you're from a small town in Iowa and then landing in the big city when you land on set. Like, have a little bit of the way you carry yourself, be a quiet, observational confidence in a space will get you far.
And I feel like you've always been a quiet person.
It's funny because I say that to other people in my life, especially in these spaces of set, and they laugh at me like I'm making a joke. And I'm like, I mean it. Like, I'm an indoor cat. I prefer quiet. But I've learned that when I'm on set, I'm definitely on. I'm activated. I'm in performance already when I'm on set. And I have very gracious coworkers, some that are very clear on my neurodivergence, and they let me take some mental time off without asking or fearing that I'm not okay. You know, because that's a whole emotional labor, to be like, no, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm just,
right.
Do you know what this is? Okay, I'm okay, because that's what I am. And like, I don't want to go into the whole thing. I just want to turn off for a minute. And when I unmask, the lights go out. On my face.
And I remember the first time I saw that because, I had met you as an actor. So both you and Wendy were very on, right? Cracking jokes, talking, very animated. And I don't know, it had to have been a couple years, I think. If not, maybe that same. But the first time I saw you go off, it was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
And that was like the first thing that came to mind was, is she depressed? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Like, does she need something?
No.
And you were just like, no, I just turn off. And it was just understood that, like, and for me, it wasn't necessarily a neurodivergent thing because I don't think we had the name for it, right? Or we didn't know how to describe that. But it was just more of like, okay, so Lori turns off. And it's not always a acting thing for her. She has to be herself, and herself is a quiet person.
Very, yes.
And Wendy is just always on.
She's my beard. She's like my extroverted beard. And I put her on, like, she comes out with me and everyone's like, oh, they're both so lively.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, Wendy. And now, Wendy, this version of Wendy is like a little more, I need a minute than she was when you first met us.
Right.
She was the party.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I gotta go away. And then you learn, like, Where's Lori becomes the book that sits on the shelf of all of my friends. They're like, at a party, I just, where's Lori? I'm gone. I reached my limit. And it all makes so much sense now that I have my diagnosis. But prior to that, I was like, a lot of shame. A lot of shame.
Do you want to talk about it a little bit? Like, what was your diagnosis?
Level 1 autism. And so that was formerly known as Asperger's.
Oh, okay.
Which is hysterical to me because when I was 19 years old, I ran a summer camp and I had some kids with Asperger's that were put on medication and then taken off medication during the summer. Then I went into a whole, like, hyper interest mode on Asperger's, went to the place where you went, Barnes and Nobles, you know, to like do the whole thing, and read so many books on it, understood it deeply, but never assumed that I had it.
Right.
And really would have never even come across it if it hadn't been my algorithm. Mm-hmm. And there were some like ADHD like videos, memes, whatever that would pop up. And I would really relate to a lot of them. Mm-hmm. But there was an impulsivity in my experience, both in reading about it and experiencing people that have been diagnosed or have shared their diagnosis with me who are ADD or ADHD. Mm-hmm. There is an impulsivity that I don't relate to. So my diagnosis is actually, for all intents and purposes, it's AUDHD. It's autistic ADD.
Okay.
But because I'm missing the impulsivity part of it, I don't get to like officially name it that. It's like autism with ADHD traits.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nobody grew up with a single Latina mom that will get your impulsivity problems in super check in middle school. Me dijo, no toques hasta que regrese. Okay, they told me don't push the button until you hear the beep. And I was like, beep, push. None of this pre-beep pushing. I know better than that. Anyway, girl, that was my diagnosis. I got it 2 years ago now. Mm-hmm. I had a little bit of like, I felt bad for myself. Mm-hmm. You know, I thought about all the different times in my, like, growing up in my youth. All the misunderstandings, all the accusations of copying people, where I was like, I just, like, that was my way of relating to folks. Mm-hmm. But I see how it shows up, like narcissism. Like if someone's like, I lost my grandmother and da-da-da, that's even a bad example, is the death thing. Because my emotional response to like natural human things like death and life and whatever is off as well. I have to really be like ready to, I'm like, okay, somebody died. You say things like, I'm sorry this happened. Because that was another thing. I'm like, what do people say? Why do people say things?
Yeah,
why do we post on, when people die, why do we post on social? Like, who's reading that?
Right.
Who's it for? Who are we talking to? You know, I'm so confused by like just social norms. You know, the dog dies and we make a post, a big chunky. I'm like, did you talk like this to the dog when it was alive? Did you say all the things that you posted?
I hope they did.
No sé, no entiendo. Pero, you know, I did a lot of that sort of looking back. And then I said, after maybe a year of that looking back and getting really choked up, sort of sharing that in my more immediate community, I was like, it's time to look forward. Mm-hmm. You know, I have the privilege of having this opportunity in my life, both on television and leading a company. Mm-hmm. And I should be telling people this is who I am. Mm-hmm. So that, you know, clarity is kindness and they know to be clear with me. Mm-hmm. Also because I want to be a good friend. And there's just some things about my brain that don't always allow me to do that. Mm-hmm. So when people want to be closer to me, it's so helpful to know that, because these friendship things are hard to know. Yeah. And I don't want to disappoint people or let people down. It's just good to understand where people hold me, things like that. But then it lets me share with other people. I have to ask for help. I have to say I need more time. I have to apologize. I have to take ownership. I have to shut up and listen. There's so much I need and have to do, and I'm surrounded by people that are incredible and that show up for me and that want me to be successful and don't shame me for any of that stuff, and rather provide me with the tools that I need to succeed. And then I'm like humming. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you feel like also you're normalizing it too?
I hope so. I'm normalizing it to me, for myself. And sometimes it's not, the echo isn't normal. You know, I might tell, I've been trying it with different things, different people, just to be like, did that work? Is that too much? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't tell people that way, or, you know, things like that. Just trying to, like, what is the right dial sometimes?
Yeah.
With so many things, but especially that. I told a director once, hey man, I'm autistic. So like, it was a commercial. Mm-hmm. And he spoke very fast and wanted me to improvise, like, okay, and then go kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so you're walking over here, and then the camera's going to come over here, you're going to cross, and then, okay, go. And, like, my processing speed is just a little slower. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just need a minute to hear everything you said, let my brain go, I'm a professional bitch, mm-hmm. you know? Like, I will get there so fast, but I need I need 15 more seconds to process, and he wants me to go now. Okay? Now. So I'm like, all right, I don't want him to grow frustrated. So I'm just going to tell him, like, hey, man, this is my deal. I'm autistic. Everything is, like, pretty normal. Like, I'm not trying to make my directors, like, adjust their whole thing in order to carry me. I just need you to know when you need something, I might need an extra second to just process a thing so I can do it. But I love improvising. It's all good. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I could see the minute I said autism, his eyes were like, oh God, no, I don't, you know, like all the, how am I gonna now, and all the fears for them.
Mm-hmm. Were they a glitch?
Yeah. And then they're like, so he fixed it by resolving that his first AD was gonna just tell me everything that I needed to know, which cut us off from interacting any longer. But ultimately, like, F it, man. Like, if that's what happened in that moment, I said what I needed. It ended up, we were filming in a giant, like, basketball kind of...
A gym?
Arena.
Okay.
Layout. And I also let them know, hey, I'm autistic. I need to be in the space because all of that echo, I just need a minute to get my head around it before I'm put in a position to have to deliver. Mm-hmm. And I'm learning that about me. And some people receive me incredibly well, and I thank them so deeply. Like, they know who they are, the folks that I told in the beginning, mm-hmm. and they didn't make it weird for mm-hmm. me. They helped build my muscle to be able to say it to other people and have it be weird and still have it be okay.
Yeah.
So that I can continue to ask for what I need. I'm just getting savvier about being a little more observational and a little less, like, triggered from my fear. Mm-hmm. Oh shit, they're like this, it's gonna be, I have to tell them now. And, like, before I see and know them more, so that I can hopefully deliver it in a way that is the most beneficial for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for people who, and maybe there's somebody like you out there, which, I mean, obviously, right? Like, there are so many neurodivergent people. Mm-hmm. But, like, for the folks who... Right. Mm-hmm. But for the folks who think, like, oh, I may, you know, maybe I can't do it. Mm-hmm. And I want to be in theater, or I want to be an actor, or I want to be the next, you know, whoever.
Yeah.
Right? What would you tell those people that feel like they can't?
Well, I would just, like, if you're a neurodivergent brain, then really all you need to hear is probably, like, maybe you can't, but maybe you can. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, what happens if you can, actually? So you should just go figure that out. And then if you can't, it will tell you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It will, like, make you want to stop. Mm-hmm. But, like, I think in general, we all need to be a little bit more attuned to ourselves, because we're all like, bleep, beep, 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 ChatGPT, do I still want to do this? And Chat's like, well, based on your search queries and all the things you've asked, I don't know. It sounds like there's still interest. You should keep moving forward in Canada. Oh my God. You know, like, just slow down.
Right.
Do you feel joy in this space? Mm-hmm. If the joy is there, stay. If it's not, go.
Right. And sometimes it's that easy, you know, and when you have children, they tell you to don't always give them your opinion right away. Let them be intuitive and let them figure out, because that's all they have, right? Out of the womb, there's no language, there's no knowledge of anything. All they have is, like, their intuition. Yeah. And then we're trying to figure out how to get that back in like our 40s,
Right.
right? Like, and so I'm like, how do I let my kid, right, believe in herself and follow her intuition? And it's basically saying like, yes, if that's how you feel, yes, you are right.
Yeah. You're
Right?
present for them emotionally.
Yeah.
Through their whole journey.
And I think it's so interesting that like it's coming from the parents that didn't get that, right? That had to doubt themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Along the way in order to then realize, oh wait, I was right all along.
Themselves, and also kind of get like messaging maybe from a parent that's like, you're reaching too high, you're going too far, this not going to work, it's not going to be the thing, you know, like you don't know what people are fighting against, you know. But there's always the critic.
Yeah.
Whether it's in your head, I move in spite of the critic, and that was one of those like an internal version of a visualization board, like something that I decided one year where I was like, in spite of that voice in my head, I'm gonna go do the thing, and I'm gonna let that voice just play. I'm gonna let it the whole day tell me I'm not gonna go to that audition. You don't feel good. You're sick. Your stomach hurts. It's not gonna be for you. They're looking for models. You're not a model. Don't go. You know, blah, blah, blah. You hate that casting director. They don't eat. They get mad at you that your picture doesn't look like you. Don't go, you know?
Right.
And I just let it go. I'm like, you can be there the whole day. But you know what? We're going. We're going to go.
Yeah.
Do it in spite of it.
Yeah. Did you have any like mentors, anybody like leading you along the way? Is there anything that you learned from them that you go back to?
Yeah, I've had so many like Jedis along the way, like teachers, whether through tumultuous relationships or through like actual teachers that have taught me how to do things. I would be doing a disservice by naming only one, and I can't name them all right now, you know? But I feel like I've been very fortunate to have the universe has been very good about giving me my lessons. And I come for them. And I want to learn the thing. And so I'm like, if it's a hardship, just let me at least learn it. And not get my ego so up that I don't walk away with something from the experience. But I would say like the person that has consistently given me the possibility of yes is Michael Kendo. He's been a big mentor in my life. He was the first person that was like, what do you need to do your art? Like, what's the literal monthly budget number that you need to cover as a single mom to do your art full time? And I was like, oh my God, I'd have to be famous. Like, that was always what I held on to. I'd have to be famous, which is impossible. So I guess never, you know. But it turns out that number was like, at the time, it was like $13.28 or something.
Wow.
For $1,328 a month, I could live my dream. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
And that was like with $25 a week to go and have fun with, which you could do at the time. So sometimes you just need those expanders, people that come into your life and expand your thinking. And he was a big one of those for me.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment when like a perspective changed? Like where all of a sudden somebody said something or you did something or something clicked and you're just like, oh, that. Like,
Yeah.
I can look at it this way. And now
Yeah, I think becoming a producer changed my perspective on a lot of things, which were empowering for me as a performer. I would say, you know, I've been on Chicago Med for 10 years, right? And I have learned over time that the dollar is important there. How they spend their dollar is always calculated to the dollar and the coin. There's nothing casual about it. There's no people overlooked the dollar. No. Right? But it's not personal. The producer is making dollar cents. And them offering you this title over that title, this money amount over that. Yeah, there's numbers out there that are floating around in the industry that are insane. But for what I do, that's the best use of their dollar trying to achieve their goals. You know, I'm trying to achieve my goal of making more as a performer. So it taught me to be savvier about how I go about doing that. It's not just waiting for someone to equate my worth to what the dollar amount is. That is a very passive way of existing. And so when you're not taking the dollar amount personally, when you're being more strategic, when you're playing chess with your life, your moves, you're trying to think ahead a few moves. And being a producer taught me, like, I can not be exactly where I'm at and still see my producers and love them. And not be like, whatever, man, you didn't see me, you didn't value me. Like, that's my ego. Producing also taught me to listen. It taught me to not come into conflict with outrage, not come into, when I can help myself. Okay, I'm human.
She's always coming.
Like, I heard the podcast where you said, and you're all over the. I'm like, I didn't say forever and always. I said this is what I shoot for. I have been in situations where I've been like, you know, very me focused about something. Let's say with my agents, right? My agent had a way of talking to me when she would give me my offer, and it wasn't what she thought I was going to find a good offer. And to their defense, I've been a mess over the years learning this, right? You know, there's been a season where they got my offer. I'm like, they don't care about me. My poor agents. But anyway, I'm at a place now where I understand it so logically and technically that when my agent calls me, she's like, she's delivering my offer, and she would be like, hey, I got the offer, you know, and I'm like, did they fire me? Like, what happened? Why are you talking to me like this? It's just like, no, it's just, you know, it's this and not that. I'm like, girl, we got a job. Let's say yes and keep it moving, you know? But she has 100 other people that have a particular way of being delivered information to. It's not just me. And I'm going to get mad at her because she's not hearing me and adjusting. Like, no. It actually turns out that there's a whole other world outside of me. And I feel that very often as a producer in conversation with artists, they come from the I and me. And they don't start with curiosity. They don't start with, how do you do this? How do you select this? You know, in that conversation with one of my other agents, I was like, can you help me understand what this agent is dealing with so that I can maybe get a picture into her world and why she's responding to me like this? Because me telling her to adjust, she's not adjusting. So I want to understand why, not she's not doing it for me.
Right.
There might be a reason, you know? And coming in to understand that it's because there's a lot of other actors that are emotional about how they receive that information, and she's just trying to get by, man.
Yeah.
Poor agent Brittany is just trying to get through the day, and she's gonna try to remember to shoot it straight with me. But I'm gonna need to give her a minute, and I have to show her the example that I'm gonna receive the information, okay? Because how many actors tell you they want it straight, and then you give it to them straight, and they're like, you hurt me. We're full of it, you know? So, yeah, it's changed me in good ways in that way. It makes me start with curiosity. It makes me slow down. It makes me take considerations. It makes me not speak in the moment of feeling highly emotional about something. I need time to really process what about that didn't work for me so that we can make the most of our communication, you know, and that I can show up and say sorry if I need to. You know, stuff like that.
That's so funny. How do people react when you like take accountability for like a mistake?
They're often like, I don't know, I see people relax. Maybe that's the best way of describing it. They relax because it feels safe when somebody has emotional accountability. It feels safe when someone's like, before they say, I'm well, I'm sorry you felt that way, but me, and then what I, right? They don't need that. What they need is you to say, that must have hurt. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I fucked that up.
Yeah.
That was not what I intended to do. And then I can tell you, here's what I was trying to do.
Right.
And that didn't work.
Yeah.
Right? And that helps people be like, oh my God, because a lot of people they can't show up in emotional accountability, and it has nothing to do with you. They had a traumatic thing happen to them when they were kids, in a spectrum of its own trauma. Some people have like great parents, but they responded to things badly, you know?
Yeah.
And that built a way of you not being able to say the thing. So emotional accountability is one of the things that I look for now in my adulthood as a marker of whether I can build a stronger relationship with someone or not. And then as a producer, it helps me define what are going to be the tactics of communication if this person is emotionally accountable and if they're not.
Right.
So I can have success either way.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gotten shock from people who are like surprised that you're
direct,
willing to
that you're
say,
so direct and accountable.
Like,
I messed up.
But just saying that or saying like, I'll take blame for it because it was my fault that this happened. People are like, oh, okay.
That means we can work together.
Right.
That means that now I can trust you more because you'll say when it... What's wrong with people?
I don't know.
Mira, I am of your... Okay, we're in the same tribe with this.
We are.
But I see that it is a struggle for folks. And very... From people with... Like, I'm like, they are not doing great in their brains to people who are highly, 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 highly intelligent. I have seen... struggle in just being able to be accountable for the thing that didn't go right and end it on the accountability. And when that isn't present in communication and conflict, I see people's natural fears start to ignite. And then now we're dealing with childhood things. Just because we didn't start from the beginning with, I hear you, that must have been scary. I actually just misheard this. Moving forward, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Like simple things like that. La gente no puede.
I know. But what's funny is that, so I take the communication route, like the way I explain it to people. I'm like, if you don't own your story and just say, this is what happened, I'm owning it, somebody else is going to own it for you.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's how rumors start. And that's how people make up their own little, realities in their head that are not real.
Yes.
Like if you just call it, call a spade a spade.
Right.
And I don't understand why, especially as adults. Like, I thought this was going to get easier, And
Me too.
you find that people are just not.
Still the same. It's still high school out there.
And I'm like, holy cow.
No,
okay.
I know. But we find each other, people like you and me.
Yes.
We find each other and we build our little villages of work. This is why I told you over conversation before, like if we're not creatively involved, we're not seeing each other. So we need to find whatever the thing is.
And I think it's only because it's so stupid, right? Those little hurdles that you could just get out of the way, right? Because you need to get something done.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, all right, I'll apologize and I'll own this because we need to keep going.
And also because everybody still wants to play in the sandbox.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
everybody still wants to build the castle. So like this was a blip. We're going to learn each other. Learning each other takes a minute.
Right.
It's
exactly.
Oh my God. It's just we're in the culture of Amazon now. Amazon Prime membership, Amazon tomorrow. Like it's
tomorrow,
not working.
overnight.
I'm sorry, how long has it been since you filed your complaint? 48 hours. Okay, it's going to be like 6 months to a year. We're learning each other. Everybody calm down.
No kidding. Oh my goodness. Well, my last question for you is what keeps you going? What's your motivation?
I think my motivation is the understanding that this life is meant for me to just be in continuous evolution. So I am motivated. So what keeps me going is this idea that until I'm dead, I'm going to be excited by many, many new ventures. And so that for me feels very fulfilling. I feel like I'm very happy that this life gets to be so much of this kind of thing. And right now, what's driving me is when I look into an artist's face after we've made their thing great and they are in their excellence moment and they see it. Like, that is driving the grant writing. It's driving the, connections. It's driving all of the awkwardness I have to go through in order to manage my neurodivergence within a space of like constantly connecting with folks, which I like to do, but it costs me a lot.
Yeah.
I love that I can challenge myself in that way and still find connection in this work. And right now that look in the artist's face is really making it like a drug. Like, I want to go back and keep finding more money and doing more things and keep carving that space out for folks. And I think I'll be in that zone probably for the next 5 to 8 years.
Nice. Well, can't wait to see what else y'all create and put out there. The work that you do is amazing. It always has been. I've always been excited to see your stuff, whether it's a video or, something on social or on stage. It's always great.
Thank you.
To see. And also just because I've seen since day one. Well, not day one exactly, but
You have.
Chicago.
You are like, you're the keeper.
Yeah.
You're the holder of my history. I'm going to need your brain when I'm older. And I'm like, when was the thing that happened? You're the one.
Well, this is why I'm going to be everybody's biographer.
I love it.
This is why we're doing interviews now. So I have something to go back to.
We have to be Taylor Swift huge.
Yeah.
Okay, I need the beach house where we go and record our just because we feel like it.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Lorena, for being here with me today. I appreciate your time. I know you're super busy, pero yeah, I'm just so grateful that you're here.
I'm grateful to my friend. Pa'lante juntas.
Siempre. And to everybody listening, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, this is Kiki. If you made it this far, you officially made it to the end of the episode. Thanks for being here. If you're listening on a platform where you can rate and subscribe, please do. It really helps more people find the show. And hey, leave a comment. Tell me what you liked, what stuck with you, and what you want more of. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram at What It's Like to Be Here Pod. Catch you on the flip side.